And if she is the most important thing in your life, and if you have no higher purpose or higher vision for your life, and if you're pursuing nothing but her time and talking to her all the time, ultimately she will start to fall out of love with you. Hello and welcome to the Warrior King podcast. My name is Michael Riggs. I'm a full-time author, artist, and entrepreneur here to assist you on your journey to unlocking masculinity, manliness, and the warrior spirit within, and overall leveling up your life. So the topic of discussion today is 5 things every man should know about a woman in the context of masculine man to feminine woman relationships. Now, what gives me the credentials to talk about such a thing? Well, I've been in a lot of relationships with women. I'm not proud of that one, but I've made every mistake in the book. I destroyed relationships before I learned what it means to be a man and leveled up my life. I made all the mistakes so that you don't have to. And now I'm in a happy, thriving marriage. My wife is happy. I'm happy. But if I didn't learn these 5 things, likely this relationship would have failed too, like all of the relationships in the past. Now, one of those relationships I was in for 10 years and 2 kids, and she was apparently so unhappy in our relationship that she moved out, took the kids with her, and my life fell apart. And that's the point where I decided that I needed to learn how to be better and level up my life and all that kind of stuff. One of the most difficult things that I've ever been through. So I don't want that kind of thing for you. So that's why I'm here to teach you this stuff today. Now, I gotta give credit where credit is due. The first book that I read when my life fell apart was The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. And many of the concepts in this video that I applied to my own life and my own relationship, I learned from his book. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Now, the first thing that I want you to know, the masculine grows by challenge and the feminine grows by praise. Now, what do I mean by that? Many men try to challenge their woman to help her grow because that's how they grow as men. And that's a huge mistake. You see, men grow by challenge. And because that's the way that we grow in life, we automatically assume sometimes that that's how a woman would grow too. So we end up trying to challenge her. And that could even go as far as criticizing and belittling her. And one thing that you need to know is that the feminine grows by praise and compliments, not by challenge. And one thing that criticizing and belittling her does is it makes her feel like she's not good enough. Instead of responding in a way that she wants to overcome that thing and be better like we would as men, it makes her shut down. She closes in on herself and ultimately feels like she's not good enough. And ultimately, she will fall out of love with you. So if you've been in a long relationship with a woman or you've been married for a while, you might have heard the phrase before, "You're always criticizing me." That's a very common one. And like I said, I've made all of these mistakes before, and I have heard before, "You're always criticizing me." I've even been told that makes me feel like I'm just not good enough. So just as a scenario here, let's say that you're busy working on something. You're at home and you're busy working on something, whatever it is that you do. You're in your office, maybe, for example, and your lady comes in and she's like, "Can you please come help me hang this picture on the wall?" She's like redecorating, reorganizing the living room as they do and all that stuff. And you just say, "Yeah, hold on, I'll be there in a minute." And you keep doing what you're doing. And a little bit of time passes and suddenly you hear a big crash and you're like, "What the heck is that?" So you go out and check, and the picture that she wanted you to hang is now shattered on the floor because she put the nail in the drywall instead of putting it into the stud, and the picture ultimately fell and broke on the floor. And how would you react to this situation? Well, many men would react by saying, "What the heck are you doing? You did that wrong. You're supposed to do it like this. You can't just put it in the drywall, da da da." And she would say, "Well, I asked you to help me," or something like, "You should have been there to help me. I asked you," or that sort of thing, which might escalate the situation. And you'd be like, "I'm busy," and blow up at the whole situation, which ultimately turns into a terrible fight, which is never good in a relationship. And that's definitely not a good way to react to the situation, because what you're doing there is trying to challenge her and belittle her to help her grow as you would grow by being challenged like that. Let's say that a mentor or a father would come into the room and challenge you like, "Why did you do it like that?" And then you would learn from that. Your masculine traits would be boosted in that criticism and in that challenge. But for a woman, it's not the same thing. She's going to feel like she's not good enough. She's going to feel like basically you're an a-hole, first of all. And the feminine grows by compliments and praise and thanks and things like that. So a much better way to approach that situation, you come out, you see the picture broken on the floor, and you kind of laugh to yourself and you walk up and say, "All right, let's assess the damage." Instead, you say something that you love about her, like, "It's so cute when you get into these modes where you want to rearrange the house," or something like that. "It's so cute when you get into these modes. I love that about you." You could say something like, "Wow, you're right. That picture would look awesome there. It looks great in here." That sort of thing. Compliment her. And then go and fix the situation instead of complaining about it. Instead of belittling her and criticizing her and trying to challenge her into knowing how to do that thing that you should have done in the first place anyways. And then say something like, like, all right, all I got to do is find the stud here so that the nail stays better, and then your picture won't fall down. Fix the situation, compliment her. She won't feel bad about the situation, and instead of feeling bad about the situation and belittled and criticized, she'll feel happy, and she'll trust your masculine core. She'll trust you as a husband even more. And what's most important is that she will know that you love her. So just remember, number one is the masculine grows by challenge and the feminine grows by praise. Number two is the way that she treats you at any given moment is in direct proportion to how she feels about your relationship at that moment and how much she trusts your strength. And this changes on a moment by moment basis. There is no formula. There is no bigger picture. It's how she feels right now in this moment. You might notice that one moment she's loving and sweet and caring and all about you, and the next she's annoyed, cold, put off, or even disinterested. Women's feelings and moods and emotions change like the wind. There is no science to it. There's no formula, and it's completely unpredictable. Accepting this and understanding this is a huge step toward having a thriving relationship. Now, when a woman is suddenly moody or grumpy or down or closed in, many men react in a way that is combative to that or challenging to that. They get frustrated and defensive about it. But one thing that you can do as a man is learn to love the feminine and love all aspects of it, including the shifting moods and emotions. Like I said, it changes like the wind. It's on a moment by moment basis. And there is no formula to it. There is no figuring it out. So trying to figure it out will only lead you to misery, heartache, and arguments and horrible stuff like that. Never try to analyze her mood or get to its source. There is no formulaic reason that her mood has changed that can be repaired with reason. She might not even realize why she feels differently because this just comes naturally. So you might try to analyze her and get to the source of the problem, and you might say something like, I noticed X, Y, and Z, and that must be the reason why you're treating me like this. Because it's a man's nature to try to repair and fix things and get to the source of the problem, right? And then she might respond with something like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Nothing's different. And you might say something like, well, you're acting totally different right now. You're acting like I'm an asshole or something. What did I do wrong? You're trying to find the source of the problem. And like I said, she might not even realize that there is a problem or that she's even treating you differently. And even if your analysis proves to be true, she still has no idea what you're talking about. So remember, how she feels and how she treats you is how she feels about your relationship in that very moment. A lot of times men will try to analyze the big picture and look into the past and be like, what are the things that I did wrong that led up to this very moment? What is the source of the problem? How can I fix it? How can I repair it? You might start asking her questions, trying to analyze and, like I said, get to the source of the problem. And to her, there is no bigger picture to figure out. There is no bigger picture to her. Like I said, it changes on a moment by moment basis. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just true. So instead, what you can do is look inward and analyze yourself. Like I said, you can't analyze her. She might not even know why she's treating you differently. So you can ask yourself, what did I do to change her mind so suddenly, and how can I repair it? Usually this sudden change can be directly related to you showing weakness or showing that you're not following through on your word or sticking to your word, or that you're all around just not following through. See, the thing about feminine women is that they constantly and ever want to know that you are strong. They want to trust your masculine core. And we're going to talk about women's testing in a minute. They always want to feel your strength. They want to feel that you're unmovable. They want to know that you are trustworthy, that you stick to your word, that you're strong. And when you start showing weakness, or when you stray from the path, or when you're not pursuing your purpose in life or doing anything of importance, when you're just acting as if you're a drifter, just drifting through life, or if there's even any subtle signs of that, she's going to pick up on that, and how she feels about your relationship can change like that. It's just how it is, dude. I'm not making this stuff up. And this moment by moment change that's directly related to how she feels in that very moment is why she seems to change her mind so often or become closed in. Or, for example, in the morning, you might say, hey, after work, do you want to go grab some tacos and walk around downtown? And she's like, sure, that sounds like a super fun idea. And then you get home after work to pick her up and go have those tacos and walk around downtown. And she's like, no, I don't feel like it anymore, and changes her mind and seems kind of closed in and distant and stuff like that. Instead of being like, well, what the hell? You said you wanted to go get tacos. Instead of blowing up, challenging her, trying to analyze her, question her, get to the source of the problem, you could look inward and figure that out for yourself, dude, because it's probably your fault, to be honest with you. And it's probably because you showed some form of weakness or not following through. And most often, repairing the situation is much simpler than it seems. And this is one of the most important tips that I can give you when it comes to this. Sometimes just some sweet words, some loving on her, and reminding her of your purpose and your intention is all it takes to change the situation situation, change her feelings, and diffuse the situation. A reminder of your love and a reminder of your strength. Because see, if you get angry and you blow up, or you take the wuss route and say something like, but you said we were going to get tacos, that's only going to make things worse. It's going to make her shut down more. It's going to make her more closed in. And ultimately, it's chipping away at your relationship, having those arguments about things, her constant shifting moods that change like the wind, like I said, on a moment by moment basis, based directly on how she feels about your relationship in that moment and how she feels about you in that moment. By the next moment, it could be all better instead of worse. And you will never understand or figure out how women function and operate. It's a total mystery, dude. Like, I'm not claiming to know everything. I'm just letting you know what works and how to make your relationship better. I used to get really defensive and argumentative about everything in my past relationships, and trust me, it slowly but surely chips away at and destroys your relationship. Learning to love these things about women and the feminine will only level up your relationship and level up your life. Learning to love her shifting moods, learning to love her chaotic nature, all of these things. Trust me, dude. And we'll get to number 3 right after this very quick ad break. Thank you guys. Stick around. Want to level up your life as a man and unlock your masculinity? My book, Warrior King, Unlocking Masculinity, Manliness, and the Warrior Spirit Within, is a 7-level course to embracing the primal wild self and awakening the Warrior King within, covering everything from what it means to be a man, embracing masculinity, love and relationships, being a protector and provider, pursuing your purpose and success, and a whole lot more. I spent a year living in a school bus conversion in the wilderness while I wrote this book, and I believe that it is a journey of self-discovery that will change your life forever. Everything that I learned on my own journey to unlocking what it means to be a man and leveling up my life is in there. The 7 levels are the primal, the listener, the wise man, the lover, the protector, the warrior, and the king. You can find a link for Warrior King the book in the description of this podcast episode or video. Grab a copy to take the first step on your transformational journey today. Again, that's Warrior King by Michael Riggs. All right, welcome back. Thanks for checking that out. If that's something that you're interested in, definitely grab a copy. And number 3 on my list of 5 things that every man should know about women is women are emotional and chaotic in nature. And I know we just talked about this a little bit on number 2, but I just want to expand on that a little bit because it's very important. All right, so women are emotional and chaotic in nature. Trying to challenge her away from this or getting annoyed by it even will only destroy her love and her trust for you. And that's because it's who she is as a woman. It's just how it is. So challenging her about it or belittling her about it will only make her feel like she's not good enough as a person. Women are emotional. Women are chaotic. Like I said before, their moods shift moment by moment based on how they feel in that moment. It's completely unpredictable. If you want someone who makes sense, who is predictable and not at all chaotic, you probably shouldn't be in a relationship with a feminine woman. Begin to learn how to think of her constantly shifting moods, emotions, and whims as adorable. Learn to love them. Number 4 on this list is that women want you to be busy and busy providing value, even if they say that they don't. See, the thing is, when a woman says, no, please stay, she actually wants you to say, no, I must go. You understand what I'm saying? Nurturing her longing for your presence increases her love for you. And that's because you are busy pursuing your greatest purpose. As John Eldridge puts it in his book, Wild at Heart, women don't want to be the adventure. They want to be caught up in something much greater than themselves. Being available constantly and being available to text her constantly just shows that you have nothing better to do. You have no value to provide. You aren't pursuing your purpose, and you are showing that she is your main purpose and that she is most important, which sounds like a good thing at a glance, right? But it's not. It's actually a bad thing. It shows that you have no value to provide. It shows that you ultimately won't be a strong provider. And women want strong providers. It's just innate. Like I said, she wants you to be busy, and she wants you to be busy pursuing your purpose, and she wants you to be busy providing value to the world. Imagine a warrior, and he's going off to war, right? And he's saying goodbye to his woman, and he's kissing her and holding her close. And his woman says, please stay. I just want you to stay. Please don't go. That sort of thing, right? What if he said, all right, you're right. I'll stay here with you. Our country will be okay on its own. I'm sure all these other guys will figure it out. I'm just gonna stay here and live my life with you, my love. She probably would be a little bit put off by that, right? Instead, he says, no, I must go. And he goes off and he defends his country. He goes to war because he's a warrior and ultimately returns home to her, and she loves him even more. And her longing for his presence only increased her love for him. Women want you to be pursuing your purpose and pursuing it relentlessly, being a strong provider, providing value to the world. She doesn't want to be your main focus, dude. And if you're showing that she is your main focus and talking to her constantly, you're constantly available to hang out, she knows that you have nothing better to do and that you're not pursuing anything in life. There is no strong future waiting for her because all you want to do is hang out with her. All you want to do is talk to her. You're never doing anything more important than her, right? And that's why your purpose must come before your relationship, which we're going to talk about at a later time. But that being said, your purpose should come before your relationship. I'll just leave it at that. And this is a quick excerpt from the book The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita that I mentioned before, which I hope is okay that I read it on here. I don't know how that works. Anyway, a woman sometimes seems to want to be the most important thing in her man's life. However, if she is the most important thing, then she feels her man has made her the number one priority and is not fully dedicated or directed to divine growth and service. She will feel her man's dependence on her for his happiness, and this will make her feel smothered by his neediness and clinging. A woman really wants her man to be totally dedicated to his highest purpose, and also to love her fully. Although she would never admit it, she wants to feel that her man would be willing to sacrifice the relationship for the sake of his highest purpose. And I know what you're thinking. It sounds crazy. It sounds like it doesn't make sense, right? But even though she might say the opposite, she might say that she wants to be the most important thing in your life. She wants your total focus to be on her. Ultimately, internally, innately, that's just simply not true. And if she is the most important thing in your life, and if you have no higher purpose or higher vision for your life, and if you're pursuing nothing but her time and talking to her all the time, ultimately she will start to fall out of love with you. It's just a hard truth, bro. So now let's go into number 5 on this list. The final thing is she will challenge you and test you. And she does this to feel your strength, to feel that you can't be moved. If you fly off the rails at the smallest things, or if you get frustrated by the small tests that she makes, ultimately she can't trust you with the big things. And one mistake that men make is thinking that someday her testing you will end. It never ends. Her testing will grow and change as you grow and change in life. And remember, she's doing this testing to feel your strength, to feel that you're unmovable, that you're unshakable, that you're strong, that you're trustable, that she can trust you. And this testing comes in all forms, like little comments that she makes, little challenges that she makes for you. It can even come in the form of her asking you to do a specific task and then waiting to see if you actually follow through with that thing. This testing comes in all kinds of forms, but she is constantly and ever persistently testing you to feel your strength, to feel your masculine core, to feel that you are strong and trustable and unmovable. This testing could even come in the form of nagging, like if she's being naggy to you to see if you'll be thrown off course, to see if you'll get angry, to see if you'll get frustrated. And most importantly, sometimes she'll test you to see if she can throw you off from pursuing your purpose and your highest vision for your life, your calling, to see if she can pull you away from it, throw you off course. Now, this isn't a bad thing. It's just one of those natural, unexplainable things about women. They will constantly and ever persistently test you, and that testing will never end. Learning to accept this and love it, and once you become aware of it, you can pass her little test and she will trust you and love you even more. She will know that you are strong. She will know that you are unmovable, unshakable, and that you will pursue your purpose in life no matter what. And that even she, your one true love, can't throw you off course. And that proves to her that nothing can throw you off course. You understand what I'm saying? And another thing is, remember to never test her or challenge her back, because the masculine grows by challenge and the feminine grows by praise. Now, if you want to challenge her and belittle her and get frustrated and be argumentative with her, you can boost all of those masculine traits in her, or you can love her, nurture her, compliment her, talk sweet to her, love on her, give her kisses and hugs and all that kind of stuff, which will boost her feminine traits. And ultimately, her challenging of you is boosting your masculine traits, and your nurturing of her is boosting her feminine traits, and the polarity can be totally harmonious, dude. So that's my 5 things that every man should know about a woman, and that's just scratching the surface, dude. We're never gonna figure it out, but that's okay. It's awesome. Women are beautiful. Everything about them is beautiful. They are chaotic. They are emotional. It's just how it is, and learning to love that, learning to love everything about them will only boost our relationships, make them thrive, so we can live better, effective lives, pursue our purposes, pursue our passions, pursue our dreams, and get good love all along the way. So I hope this episode inspired you in some way. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree, but I hope that this helped you in your relationship. If you found this video for a reason, if you're one of the people that happened upon this, trying to better your relationship, trying to better your marriage, trying to better every aspect of your life, I'm so happy that you're here seeing this episode. Definitely subscribe and stick around so that that you don't miss any of my future content like this, along with all sorts of topics. I talk about all sorts of things to help men level up their lives. So if that's something that you're into, definitely stick around and get engaged with the community. Definitely engage with the content. Again, I'm so happy to have you guys here. Thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to love on your lady today and tell her how much she means to you. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one.